you'd better watch out because we're not playing.
Round Conor Benn knockout.
So I've got to lean towards Chris.
Well, you've got to go with a bigger man, haven't you? But I do hope that Conor does the business.
It's gonna be a very good fight. Conor has punching power chances. Chris is the bigger guy, so you can give Chris the advantage going in because he's a bigger guy. But Conor does have exceptional punching power, so it's gonna be a great fight. I think Chris should win the fight. I think Chris should.
Boxing insiders are already quietly choosing their side as the rematch between Benn and Eubank draws near, with Eubank hinting at Crawford and Canelo waiting beyond the fight. The stakes feel heavier than ever. Eubank steps into this rematch holding a clear advantage. BoMac McIntyre is back in his corner, the trainer who helped Terence Crawford rise to the top of the sport, and Eubank believes this is the perfect addition to his corner. This return brings strategy, experience, and technical guidance that Eubank did not have the last time support. BoMac becomes more than a face beside Eubank in this moment. He's a thinker. He shared how he rushed toward the chance to guide Eubank Jr. once more. He's reaching for the peak. So I moved forward the instant they whispered, "Chris, he carries that sharp drive inside. He understands what matters to finish strong. That's why working with him feels simple, because he pushes himself so fiercely," McIntyre told Ring Magazine.
How are you feeling to be Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been this trainer before, so
Yeah, it's good.
it's a no-brainer.
Of course, congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
Ulak's mindset feels grounded. We're fully tuned to go 15 rounds. He admitted, "I'm never going to claim we're going to break him." At this stage, you can't simply declare, "Oh, he's going to break him." If the stoppage appears, he's already built in shape to finish him. That's the kind of preparation Eubank is walking into, for the long haul, sharpened for the punishment, and ready for finishing if the moment opens.
Brought BoMac in because I know you need it, and he's a great coach. You're a great coach, BoMac, and I've got love for you, mate, but you can't polish a turd. Apologies.
Then there's the curious tension that Terence Crawford, one of boxing's finest, has stirred into the moment. Crawford shares a coach with Eubank, but that never stopped him from offering Ben some sharp advice about the fight caught on camera. Crawford didn't hold anything back. "That's what was slowing you up, pulling out. Get in more shape. You got a little tired. You heard him. You were just too tired. You gotta stop pulling out," Crawford told Ben.
Oh, like, there's few adjustments that need to be made and we just work on it, you know what I mean? Once you get it more shape. You heard him. That's it. Too tired. That's it.
It's tactical advice wrapped like a quiet prediction. Crawford feels Ben carries power and grit, but misses the endurance needed to close fights at this level against a fully prepared opponent. Crawford believes that if he follows his advice, Ben can stay competitive. Ignore it, and Eubank's advantages in size, skill, and strategy will likely decide the day.
The only thing I would say about Eubank is that he's got BoMac this time, who is a master strategist. So if he has left something in the ring from the first fight, I think that having BoMac in your corner, Chris Eubank clearly respects what he says because he listens to him. Having him there, master strategist.
Former cruiserweight world champion Tony Bellew has also weighed in on just how much this could matter. Eubank is a strong athlete, and he does live the life, Bellew thinks. But it's all about recovery, and I think his body went through hell that night. Bellew has pointed out that Eubank's hospital visit after the first fight wasn't just about rehydration. It was about the shots he took. He absorbed more punishment in that fight than he has in a long time, Bellew added. He emphasizes that while Eubank can deliver that high-output performance again, the damage from the first fight could resurface, turning this rematch into a test as physical as it is tactical.
In the rematch, Eubank Jr. or Ben?
Conor Benn learns from the first fight and he wins on points on Saturday night.
So you don't think BoMac's going to benefit Chris in any way?
I do think he'll benefit him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he can still stop. We can't keep Conor Benn up. But Conor Benn this time...
Eddie Hearn, Ben's promoter, views this fight from a different but complementary angle. Hearn thinks Ben could win, but only if Eubank Jr.'s corner feels compelled to step in. He highlighted the toughness and stubbornness that define Chris in the ring. Eubank Jr. is a tough man, Hearn said. He's stubborn, and that stubbornness is exactly what shapes him in the ring. Yet Hearn also notes that Eubank's corner could have a decisive say if things turn brutal. After the last fight, the team's reaction was, "We don't need to do this anymore," he said.
At night in hospital, and Eubank was there for several days, and there was definitely a feeling of, are they going to want to run it back? I mean, the money's obviously huge, but do you want to go to those places again? And I have to give, despite our differences, I have to give Junior respect, because he went to some deep places that night. Both of them did, and they're choosing to run it back and go to the same places where they will.
This hints that while Eubank is relentless, there's a boundary to what his team is willing to risk. Hearn predicts that deep into the later rounds, quiet conversations could unfold behind the scenes about whether to let Eubank keep going, adding a subtle psychological layer to the fight.
Conor Benn knockout. So I've got to lean towards Chris.
Stoppage, points. I've heard a lot of people saying before 6 rounds.
I think regardless of whichever way the fight goes, I don't think
he's gone even further, weighing Eubank's personal life. With the news that he's about to become a father to twin boys, Hearn hints at subtle shifts in priorities. While he's not saying Eubank will hold back, he's reminding us that fighters are human. Age, family, and fortune can quietly shape choices in the heat of battle.
Conor Benn will stop Chris Eubank this Saturday. I know he's a big underdog with many, and it's a bit of a punt to me taking this prediction, but I expect Conor Benn to win early. Both of these fighters have been inactive over recent years.
Eubank himself is perfectly clear about what's on the line. His mind is already reaching beyond Benn. He told Sky Sports, "It's a big fight, and one I'm watching closely, because after I handle Conor Benn for the second time, either Canelo Alvarez or Terence Crawford, I'd love to step into the ring with them in 2026.
That one of these two could fight Terence Crawford. The winner of this fight can fight Terence
I saw Chris Eubank saying Eubank v Crawford in 2026. I don't want to be rude because Eubank beat Conor Benn. It was out of his weight class, but at the moment, these guys are levels behind Terence.
He's framing this fight as both a legacy moment and a stepping stone. Eubank wants the biggest, brightest fights in the sport, and he's making it clear that Benn is simply a stop on the road. He also wants to close this rivalry for good. Any type of significant victory, and I don't see a trilogy, he said. But who knows? It could turn into another Fight of the Year contender, and then we might have to do it again. My job is to go out there and take this guy out.
Junior Conor Benn fight does absolutely nothing for me. Really? Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. lost to George Groves, he lost to Billy Joe Saunders, he doesn't box, he boxes once a year. He looked terrible in his last fight. He was slow with his jab, he was leaving his chin in the air, his balance looks like it's gone. He's 36 years old, talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez and taking on all these top. He was talking about Triple G for a while, who's now gone 40 and retired. Conor Benn.
Eubank Jr.'s camp is stacked. BoMac's strategy and experience, Eubank's own confidence and conditioning, and lessons drawn from the first fight give him the edge in preparation and mental readiness. Benn faces a tighter path. He has to follow Crawford's advice, keep his stamina, and remain composed under the pressure of Eubank's size, reach, and tactical awareness. Physically, Eubank is the larger man. He fought Benn at middleweight last time. 2 divisions above Benn's usual class. He also faces the same rehydration limits on fight morning, meaning he can't simply gain an edge by bulking overnight.
Contracted in now, I know what he is, what he's capable of. So in that aspect, the next fight for me should be a hell of a lot easier.
Carl Froch has also shared his take on the rematch. Interestingly, this time he leans toward Conor Benn, the former super middleweight world champion, who used to spar with Eubank Jr., said on Sunsport's No Glove Lost episode that while Chris Eubank Jr. holds the size advantage and is technically a slight favorite, Froch feels Benn's youth and freshness could swing the balance. Chris Eubank, size-wise, is a slight favorite, maybe even closer to a slight favorite than last time. I just think he's probably got that edge, Froch said. But listen, on the first No Glove Lost pre-fight prediction, best channel in the business, I'm probably going to pick Conor Benn. I think the youth, the freshness, and what he learned from the first fight will be enough.
Reasons for being sort of annoyed with Eddie Hearn and the British Boxing Board of Control, because he's been fined quite a lot.
Yeah.
Got fined for not making the weight. I know he's supposed to make the weight. I think it was £500,000. But the Board of Control do a fantastic job, and they're there for the safety of the fighters. And I personally know Robert Smith, and he does a great job. So for him to slag off Robert Smith, I think that's a mistake, and one that he'll probably...
Froch's observations make sense when you consider what Benn took away from the first fight. He had to adapt on the fly against a bigger, more seasoned opponent, and despite losing on points, demonstrated grit and tactical growth. Froch is essentially betting on that learning curve, and the fact that Benn no longer carries the inexperience he had when he first stepped into the ring with Eubank.
Just get one quick one. What's your reaction to Chris Eubank Sr. coming to the press conference? Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be, exciting, man.
You got any word for him?
No, just excited to have you there, mate, and be part of it.
Frank Warren also shared his perspective, framing the fight as size versus skill. He notes that Benn boxed exceptionally well in the first fight, better than most anticipated. But in the end, Eubank's natural size gave him the edge on the scorecards. I just, have to keep thinking the big guy will beat the little guy, Warren told Box Nation. Conor boxed very well to start with in the last fight. He boxed extremely well, much better than I expected. But size mattered in the end. Maybe he's a bit more comfortable now. Maybe he's grown into the weight a bit. We'll see. He has to go at him from the beginning, jump on Junior, and box. If he can do that, he has a chance. But it could end up the same as last time.
Tests. Ben's dangerous early in that fight, in my view, because he's coming with all that stinging venom and kind of pent-up aggression that he's developed over the last 2.5 years. But I think Eubank's fought the better level of opponents, even though he's aged 2.5 years and he's been knocked out by Liam Smith. I go Eubank on points.
Warren is pointing out what fans already sense. Benn has to start aggressively, use his conditioning, and keep constant pressure on Eubank from the first bell. Essentially, he's saying Benn's best chance is to control the pace while the physical gap is still manageable. Amir Khan, once linked to a potential fight with Benn before retiring in 2022, sides with the bigger man, Eubank. On FLTV, Khan explained that while Benn could do more and still has energy left, Eubank's mix of size, experience, and confidence makes him extremely difficult to beat. I think Conor will do more because he has a bit left in the tank. He could have done more, but maybe he was holding back a little, Khan said. I think it may be closer than the first fight, but I think Eubank will still take it, maybe take the win. He has the confidence of having beaten him before. He's bigger physically and has the experience. Plus, he's the favorite going in. One thing about Eubank is he's won a lot of fans recently. Respect.
Interesting to think, to be honest with you. I mean, Conor's going up for 2 weight divisions. He's not fought anyone like the people that Eubank Jr. has fought, at his own weight, let alone 2 weights above. So it'll be very interesting. But Conor has a huge self-belief and drive, to be honest with you. You know, drive like his dad. The Benn family, I've never seen a family with more drive and determination. So I think everything's pointing at Chris.
Sean Porter shared his perspective after sparring with Benn. He gives Eubank the edge, but adds nuance, highlighting how weight and size impact the challenger. You're not losing that weight, you're carrying that weight, but you're also carrying inexperience, Porter told Seconds Out. And one of the things he's carrying is that he's facing a guy who's legitimately taller, legitimately bigger. Once he got past the big, explosive punches he missed, which naturally slows him down, he didn't know how to get at Chris Eubank Jr. Porter stresses that even if Benn is fitter and smarter this time, the physical challenge remains. Eubank's height and reach, paired with his ability to absorb punishment and keep advancing, continue to be major hurdles.
I've got to ask you, Eubank Benn next week. Who are you picking and how?
Conor Benn. I feel like Conor Benn is a fresher fighter, and I feel like he's got the ferocious ambitionness to stop.
Liam Smith, the only man to ever stop Eubank Jr., offers a slightly different view. Smith, who lost a 10-round rematch with Eubank the same year, is giving Benn more credit this time. The first fight was better than I expected, Smith told TalkSport. I expected Chris to win, but Conor performed better than I thought. I think I fancy Conor a little more than I did the first fight, and probably, if you ask me to put my money where my mouth is, I think Conor might win this one. Smith's prediction is compelling because he's not just weighing raw talent. He's factoring in performance growth, lessons from the first fight, and the mental edge that comes from learning in the ring.
It's not even about that. If he really feels like it's a boring fight, take the fight. Take the fight. Don't give it all Charlie Big Bananas. Take the fight. We'll sign a contract tomorrow. So it's like, you said it's a boring fight, it's a yawn. Mate, a yawn. Oh my gosh. Take the fight, Mr. Eubanks. Take the fight if you're that confident, because we're very, very confident.
Meanwhile, Conor Benn has been unmistakably clear about closing this chapter of his career. He recently welcomed his son Eli into the world, and, ahead of the Diaz and PPPV rematch, emphasized there won't be a trilogy. This ends with us. It's not going to be another generation in 20 years. I've been fed up with this for the past 3 years, Benn said. He spoke about ambitions beyond the rivalry, including chasing the world title, and noted he's competing at a weight that isn't naturally his. I'm glad I can give this fight to the supporters, genuinely, because big fights don't always happen for whatever reasons. But for me, I feel the weight of getting the world title. I just can't wait for this to be done, really drop back down, close this chapter of my career, and move on.
Beats him on points.
Eubank Benn, what do you think happens?
You know what, I'm a little bit torn at the moment, but I'll stick with what I've always said. I think Eubank beats him on points, but I won't be surprised if Conor wins. I think Eubank is firmly on the slide, and I know I get stick for saying that. I also think 160 is hitting him now. He started to mention it a few times, so that's why I bring Conor into it a little bit more. But like I said before, that being said,
Eubank Jr., on the other hand, spent 2 nights in the hospital after the first fight due to severe dehydration, underlining just how brutal that first encounter truly was.
I'm going to come in there and stick it on you from the get-go. Straight away. I'm going to come out there hot skipping a big right hand to a big flipping head of yours.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me?
No.
What would you believe then?
Yet, both fighters were contractually guaranteed a rematch, which is why we're seeing them return to the ring for another 12-round battle. Chris Eubank Sr., famously outspoken about his son's career, refuses to pick a winner this time. On Sun Sports' No Glove Lost episode, he remained tight-lipped.
Down the years, you and Chris have crossed paths outside of boxing. Do you get on?
He's a strange guy. He's a strange guy. I mean, he is like his dad. He's just Chris, isn't he?
His concerns stay unchanged. Eubank Jr., at 36, fighting at the 160-pound middleweight limit while following the 10-pound rehydration rule, faces a tough challenge, and he feels Benn, a natural welterweight, should be limited from stepping up to face a bigger man.
Chris Eubank Jr. Was a fantastic fighter, is a fantastic fighter, but he's too heavy. Okay, he is a 168-pound fighter. For him to get down to 160 now is too much for him. So Conor would be fighting someone who has lost his punch resistance, which was proven with this.
Adding to the insider views, mutual sparring partner Troy Williamson, current English super middleweight champion, has trained with both Benn and Eubank ahead of the rematch. In an interview with TV, Williamson admitted he was torn on picking a winner. "I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence. You know, if I hadn't sparred both, I would have given a prediction. But I'm expecting a good fight. I'm looking forward to it as a fan," Williamson said. What he's highlighting is something fans already feel. This rematch is more balanced than the first. Eubank has the size, experience, and BoMac's technical guidance. Benn, meanwhile, has learned from the first fight, is fresher, and arguably hungrier to prove himself.
Give you guys this fantasy fight and me showing a pair of bollocks to jump up 2 weights to fight you while you're moaning about your tongue now.
Wait.
Do you understand?
Jump up 2 weights. You haven't been a welterweight for 4 years, kid. Stop it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Experience gained, lessons learned. Eubank, you're getting your head smashed in, mate. Come on.
Benn is younger, fresher, and has learned from the first fight, which could give him a crucial edge if he follows Crawford's advice on conditioning and staying active in exchanges. Eubank Jr., bigger and stronger, now armed with BoMac's elite strategy, could dominate if Benn fails to press early or overextends. But what do you think? Share your pick below and subscribe for more updates.